in his metal stages and all together existing, and that was man, right? Nah, it's a little different than that, right? Because an animal is an animal, and metal is metal, and reproduction, a man from reproduction, he is that man. It's the complete thought. He don't go through any evolutionary stages as a concept. As a concept, he don't. Right, because of materialistic reality that exists within photogenic materialistic reality. It's perfectly why. I'm just saying it's perfectly why though. Right, so okay, based on that, you got that. So you're going back to, are you sure it can't be more than one person for the fact of photogenic materialistic reality? You're talking about a supreme being, you're talking about someone that created themselves and everything existing with another person. They couldn't do that. It couldn't be two people that do that. That's all. So, no, they can't be, it's not, life is not like a expression of different people inside of their own photogenic materialistic reality, that could never meet each other because of that, and then they'd never be able to meet each other because of that. Because your photogenic materialistic reality is a reality for you. When you begin to go and you go into somebody, and it's impossible to go inside another person's photogenic materialistic reality. Because, man, the magnitude of what it would be, it's everything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna leave it to you because to elaborate on and on about it. I'll give it one more test run example. For you. Okay, I'm here. So I've thought of another being that could create themselves and everything to exist with. To say if I was the being, you know what I'm saying, to exist with me. So we're two beings that created ourselves and everything, but it couldn't be the same self and everything, right? Or we'd be the same person, right? So it couldn't be that. So we're going back to. So you're talking about a different person. So it would be a different person in everything. So how could I see that person if I wasn't a part of that everything? It's like you'd never see this person, right? And for that, it's unconceptual. It's like it wouldn't be that person. It wouldn't be a person because deityism, to be a person, you know what I'm saying? You're talking about perfection. Like I said, a circle is 360 degrees and it's perfect. So you have a square and a triangle. So if you create a person, so his lining is square and so you have a more oval lining of that same person. Say we'll go to his photosynthesis. You know what I'm saying? So a perfect person. He made himself perfect. So reproduction wise, so he's materialized inside of the womb, and that concept of a womb, which would be a cardinal system that he can reproduce from, and he can complete or grow in, have a process of reproduction in, and then birth, and then start from there. So a certain size, certain times that he grow according to the solar energy loom, you know what I'm saying, and the heat on the planet, and Celsius heat, not a Celsius Fahrenheit temperature, so his real concept of a solar system, not a mythical or not some non-real expression of a solar system of itself, right? And I'm going to get into that because it's what electronic temperament is, even if for the reality of being healthy and thinking, like you think in space and time, to say something is real, you'd say, oh, it could never really be a mythical expression of a solar system or anything because it wasn't real. First of all, when you're talking about something that's real, it's real. When you're talking about a mythical expression of it, it's just not real, right? It's like a hologram. If I made a hologram, a cup, if I made a hologram of a cup, it wasn't a real cup. You know what I mean? You got this real cup sitting right here on the table, and I made a hologram. It's technology, what it could be done. So honesty, you wouldn't make a hologram for ungood reasons now. And this is chronological order, or there it is again. It can reflect the reality of how you're really thinking, and I'm gonna get into that. And it's called electronic temperament again. So, you have you have this reality, right? So couldn't be these two beings, right? Couldn't be two. So if it was just one, so this is more narrow hairline, and this photosynthesis, different pigments, different pigmentations of this perfect human. Once he's done with his perfect thought, and why would he be one complexion of another one? And that reason, because of his body temperature and is in likeness of caramelization of cooking. So it's body temperature, and you know what I'm saying? As light as it get, it's still from this one body temperature, right? And it's just photosynthesis, temperature things. The study of, we go through this photosynthesis from Celsius reality. And you got the reality of Celsius energy of a cardinal human. It goes into your health category. I mean, I'm not going to really get into it. I'm not going to really get into it a little bit, but it's something all about it. You think about it, and it's what it'll mean, and that means, all of that. Get into all of that. Celsius energy of a human, it means something. So, you get all into that, what could it mean? What could that be? So right now, if you say we have Celsius, so right now our energy for this, I'm coming outside today in 4 climate weather. It's Celsius Fahrenheit temperature, right? It isn't Celsius nucleus. Celsius nucleus is cold, cold water, ice, right? So Celsius Fahrenheit is like hot. Things that like burn things, you know what I'm saying? So Celsius is warm. It's like it's a perfection of temperature, and a very interesting perfection of temperature, because it's materialistic. That's the interesting thing about Celsius energy. It's materialistic, right? Because it's like a beautiful because it is a scientific relationship of not being over hot and not being over cold on time, in a timing, right? And it creates material, it's materialistic, and that's interesting, you know what I'm saying? So that of a human, it'll be what it is. When you look at it in energy, raw energy, outside of a human, this is Celsius energy to do anything with. You could create anything with it. So you know what I'm saying? You look at it in a human, I'm gonna leave that to you. I know what it is. I'm gonna leave it to you though. I'm not leaving the most puzzling thing to you though. I mean, I'm not. So Celsius energy. So if right now it's Celsius Fahrenheit, I got you. You know my feelings. So Celsius Fahrenheit. Celsius Fahrenheit. All right, I'm not getting. You got how you feel. It's not so hot that you're burning yourself. So it's not Celsius nucleus, because man, would you say you feel cold, or would you feel cold or hot? Would you say you feel more cold or more hot? More warm, maybe hot, right? Because cold is cold. Temperatures, right? Obviously we're not cold, right? So we're hot, right? But we're not like Celsius, right? And getting to that expression of this and everything. So coming from a photogenic materialistic reality of that, right? So getting to something like the beginning and the spawn. So you got the deityism and how this person complete thought is to spawn, and if it was in spawning or materializing in this perfect amount, and to say if it was a whole photogenic reality of a solar system that looks super different from this one, because this is a more Celsius Fahrenheit expression of a solar system, right? For climate weather, it is due to the temperature of the sun, solar energy loom. It isn't Celsius, right? So you looking at the magnetic reality, the way it goes around like a science project. Oh, what a beautiful thing, right? But it isn't even Celsius. So the future of it, and to study it, because if you just let it go on, you want to study its reality to become Celsius, because it's going to do that, and it's not gonna like fizz out, because you can't extinguish magnetic energy. So in that sense, Celsius, that's in Celsius Fahrenheit, that means has a small amount of Celsius reality to it, because it's no such thing as unmagnetic energy. And when you say Fahrenheit, you know what I'm saying, for this expression of things, it's like raw unmagnetic energy, which is unreal. It's no such stage of energy. There's no such thing as energy without magnetic principle. It's absolutely unrealistic. It never will be. You know what I'm saying? So Celsius Fahrenheit energy it has a small reality of magnetic energy. You can study this. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it has a small reality of magnetic energy, so a small reality of Celsius energy. So that would be all about the solar system. You can imagine when it becomes Celsius. Wow, just look at when solar energy loom becomes Celsius. Except we're under this like unreal conception of our health. And this is a fact, because you go to the doctor, they'll tell you things, and they'll just tell you so many things. They won't tell you things to the concept of simply keeping the temperature on the plant to stop it from withering away in winter. What's the word I'm looking for? All right, so I couldn't find a word right quick. Under winter, under more winter situations, right? So winter situations. The word was not situations, but it's cool. I gotta keep it moving. I don't have time to stand and stare at the camera and try to figure out some word, right? It'll be all right. So you know what I'm saying? So you have this concept. Imagine this concept in the hospital, and I'm gonna get to why it appears that they won't tell us something so simple and so real. Excuse me. Why? And it's called electronic temperament. Even if you look at the beginning, and that'll look at things, it's for a photogenic, materialistic honesty of materialization. And that'll get you everything. You know what I'm saying? The honest, photogenic, materialistic expression of everything for the concept of photogenic materialistic reality. That this honesty, right, in which you'll get here, that means no one was here. No one's here first, other than the person who created himself or themselves and everything, which will highlight this deityism, which would highlight a deityism, right? So no matter the photosynthesis and this concept, if this deity wanted to be here, a man with all the women, you know what I'm saying? And what a woman is right now, you're not getting out of it unless in this deity will be a mystery to himself. You have to know whether it could be more than one person here or not, right? You're the same person that thought of this thing. So food, you know what I'm saying? so, right? That's what I'm saying. So you wouldn't sit there and be like, oh, well, I'm a raw man. I'm a natural man. I'm not going to wash up. Wrong. So, the concept of soul. So you're a man, you're raw off into my being. I'm a being. I'm existing. So a girl, man. So you had so if you was a deity, you had this reality to, exist as a man. And you had this reality to be like, opposite thought like that at the same time. But you wouldn't be the opposite thought of existing and non-existing at the same time in some warped process of which you shouldn't call life, man, right? That makes no sense. You have limits. Yeah, you have limits. I could put macaroni with chicken, but I wouldn't put something that I wouldn't put with chicken. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't put like I don't know, to go like more conceptually. I don't know, to go like more conceptually. I don't know, what can I say? I don't know. You wouldn't put gym shoes with chicken and sit a gym shoe on a plate with chicken and like, yeah, I'm about to go eat. You know what I'm saying? So back to this like female thing, this dude thing, right? So daisyism. I mean, it's either that or no girls. So you might as well go off into like a more quote unquote phenomenal expression of being. You know, I'm a being of light, and instead of eating and having sex with a girl, I enjoy this game or this thing I do with light. I watch light, you know what I'm saying, design from itself as an infinite artistic creation of art, and you know it's my beinghood, right? So no, it's a little different than that. So you got a cardinal expression. So you're doing different things. So man, if it can only be one being, and I'm looking to have sex with this girl, how I'm gonna do this? So you got this concept. Yeah, the only concept in the world. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you know, you a dude, you feel, you know, that's just like any photogenic expression of yourself. Oh, reproduction. You know what I'm saying? So you have reproduction, and so you really could rebirth yourself. You little again and everything. So you're talking about the time about when you all are equilibrate. So you all like the same size and all the things, you know what I'm saying? But it really is yourself, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I mean, if you want to look at how you'd feel around yourself individually as an individual and is that same person, you know, that great reality, right? So okay. So if it couldn't be more than one person, right? Moving right along. So a man and the girls and photosynthesis in this scheme of reality, in this Celsius solar system, right? Doubt if it'd be a Celsius Fahrenheit solar system because it's incomplete. First of all, because it'll only evolve to a Celsius solar system. So you know what I'm saying? Why create it incomplete? Right? Why how could you contend with an incomplete thought of it? It's just unfixed, you know. No. You know, it'll have to be Celsius, right? Man was just perfect, this is great, he's man, right? That's just like saying, oh, all right, since I'm the only thing here, I'm gonna create these robots to do what? You wouldn't waste your time with little robots around. Just like if you couldn't be an animal and you didn't need them to really hunt them down like a farmer and make food, why would they be around? You don't want a pet. You have a beautiful girl and so many. You'd be a deity. You know what I'm saying? You don't want a pet. Right, so this man expression, and even if you look at it magnetically, scientifically, some kinetic expression of kinetation, and you got a self-twin. All right, so you know all the photogenic materialist of honesty, right? So you look at something called electronic temperament, which would resemble a photogenic materialist of non-honesty, right? And it's a crime. It's the same equipment that a person could use to, that a person could use to be healthy. Or I have an energy chamber, and my energy chamber, yeah, you know, with the energy chamber, I achieve total fitness, and total fitness. I studied my Celsius energy and what it does with me as a man. I've studied my photosynthesis. Yeah, I've studied I've studied the reality of it being one person or not, and I've studied all these things, right? But what you wouldn't do, and deityism, it really doesn't make sense, and that absolutely makes no sense. So if this was a deityism and you had this kind of equipment, and that'll spawn, that'll materialize with this kind of equipment for human health reasons alone. So that will be proof that this kind of equipment would be a part of a complete thought of a perfect or an honest photogenic materialist of reality, right? So for sure what you wouldn't do is get this equipment and begin to like create you wouldn't appear to manipulate an honest photogenic materialist of reality for a photogenic materialist of, for a non-real photogenic materialist of expression of a reality or a solar system. So a mythical expression of a solar system or a reality. excuse me, you wouldn't do it. It's unpsychological. It's incomplete. So appearing, you want to look at appearing to do something. You want to look at this kind of equipment, and although you never do it, and especially with it being a deityism, you would never it's like a second remote. You make a little robot and then it has a remote control. How hard is it to make another remote control to this robot, to control this robot apparently over the first control? Because you have to look at why you made the second control. It has a control, so it was complete. It was the little robot with the control. It was complete. You made a second. You made a second control. Excuse me. You made a second control to manipulate, not control a robot according to its function. You know, the little robot, it does little robot things. You made a remote to sinisterly manipulate the robot when someone else is using it. So it's wrong. It would be considered a crime if a person done that in humanity. So I don't know, if I was this deity, what I look like creating this little electronic setup like that and running that on myself. So what will I do to me? Let's see. I'll make a reality. I'll put some animals down here, and I'll make them appear to only think a certain amount of things, because just sitting back thinking these things from A to Z, 1 to 10 is simple thought interactivity, right? It's simple thought, right? It isn't like the temperament that I'm speaking of, nor is it a phenomenon. It's simple, ordinary thought. You'd wonder, man, why in the world didn't I think it? It could reflect something that I'm talking about, and that's called electronic temperament. And going back to what I was saying, so what I look like doing that to myself. So say it was a whole honest expression of a solar system or a photogenic materialistic reality. It was the man, and it was with all his girls, and it was photosynthesis, and as this being, he had the ability to reproduce himself, and he'd be another man with this whole soul system, and he can go all out and he can till it, and all around he can be this man, right? He can be this man and this beautiful deityism. And there wouldn't even be animals with him, right? And it wouldn't be another people with him, and wouldn't be another person with him, right? So what I look like creating this alleged anarchy on my own, man. This is before I create artificial expressions. You know what I'm saying? Artificial replicas of people, right? And then create this little artificial, what is it? Not theory, but theology of spiritualness, right? To describe things, spiritual things, right? I've been exterminated. If y'all see any heathens in hell, they on their way out. I'm starting to feel a little creepy. I'm in my little studio, don't laugh. I exterminate every day, you know what I'm saying? Walk with me. They not on my team. Don't laugh. So I'm starting to feel a little creepy here, you know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't create that kind of anarchy on my own self deity, right? You know what I'm saying? Right, and then so what I'm gonna do? Sit back. So I'll sit back in the real reality, and I'm there while he's going through something like this. So you have artificial replicas of humans, and I'd have my own self deity appearing to not think, just simply complete about everything. So now he's like believing in unreal spiritual things, and he's like dealing with animals, and he's owning a farm and cooking them. Instead of having a refinery and just making things out of Celsius energy and being his intelligent, normal deity self, right? I wouldn't do that. You see what I'm saying? And you look at not doing that. So you have the reality to count these things with the same kind of equipment. It's sort of like a energy treatment, because as a society we'd have an ordinance to think properly. I can't have you appearing to not think some way you really should.